and we keep working. But before I want to add some noises here, I just remind some stuff. The thing is, we had an end position here using the topper point, the upper point and the lower point. But the thing is, I forget about one important stuff, that when we use a resample node, we have a nice thing called curve view. So if we want to, we can create the curve view attribute. If you look on this attribute, it will apply almost the same if you turn on back our add band position value. And you can see that the lower number is 1 for this and for this. So it's almost the same, 0.82, 0.81, 0.60, 0.61. So it's not a huge difference. But anyway, I think that it will work a little bit better, just in case you don't use a resample and you don't have an ability to use a new attribute. You can use this attribute wrangle. But in my case, let's add this attribute here and get back to our pop network. Go to our vertex forces and choose, where is my end position? Let's rename it. Mistake again, Ctrl+C. Paste here and paste here. So again, it's a float channel, and what we have is almost the same result. Nice. From this view, it's looking good. I'm looking just on my tornado till this point. I don't care about points which have a position from this. So we can even remove them if you want to. So here's my tornado. Maybe a little bit faster than I expect. But it should be fast. All right, so there is still too many points over there, so I can remove them. Simply just go and pop kill. So just go and maybe with bouncing. So let's create a bounding box with some size, not 50 here, just 1 maybe. And move it up. 50, let's make some gap, like 75 maybe, or 65. All right. And when it hit the box, maybe a little bit bigger side, because we don't have too many substeps here. I just use one substep per frame. So with such a low amount of substeps, some particles with less Y size can just go through this box without killing. So I can remove simply there. All right, cool. Now we have some limitation for our work. So now let's talk about the noise. So the first thing is I can create a noise here underneath in the bottom area, because it's very flat. It should be noisy, because it doesn't have too many, when we have a dust on the bottom area of our vortex, but it's not regular. Okay, in some places there's more dust, less dust, some dirt or something else here. So what we can apply is, before we go into the pop network, we can add the attribute warp. And let's call this noise. So we can go by 2 different ways. Is set up some color noise to this, like turbulent noise, grab position, and send it to the color of my particles. Okay, let's choose Wax swap inputs and create input parameters. And now maybe sparse conversion mode, because it's more contrast. I like how it's looking. We scatter 50,000, maybe a little bit more points, I don't know. Okay, 50,000 let it be. But what I should do, I want to decrease the frequency. Actually, I want to have a bigger size of this noise because I have a huge, like 20 meters size for my cylinder. And, well, maybe bigger amplitude a little bit. Maybe a little bit bigger roughness, 75. Let me choose this stuff to better viewing because Pop Network creates much less points amount. Yeah. And let's play with the noise offset. So let's go here and type time, $time to make some noise a little bit faster. So divide by 2 to create a lower speed. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. We can play with some roughness, but it's definitely worth that. Let's go to the blast node. So I want to remove some points which have brightness lower than, I don't know, we can set some limits, like, I don't know, 0.1. Okay, so points. And now we will keep just points with brightness bigger than 0.1. All right, now in Pop Network, oops, hold escape to avoid simulation. Let's spray this. And now we have some noise here in the bottom area, but we definitely need to add some noise here on these areas. Okay, it's looking good. So press stop, go inside of Pop Network, and what I want to add here is to add some pop wind. So if you look on this pop wind node, we can find some noise over here. So it doesn't create just the wind, it will create some noise. Can ignore the mess. Okay, let's ignore it. We don't have a mess here, so we can ignore it. And let's play with the amplitude. Let's do, and its real size, I guess it will be very small because we have a large scale sim. And yeah, we have the air resistance here, So let's make its real size like 0.5, maybe decrease the roughness a bit. I don't want to have too many details there. Okay. And maybe I want to play a little bit with amplitude. I want to apply an amplitude depending of the height of this thing. So let's go and use expressions. And if you look on the parameter amplitude, we can call this amplitude amp. Okay, if you want to call these parameters here in the expressions, you can type amp, and I will multiply my existed amplitude by the position. So if I want to, I can take the position attribute from y-axis and divide it by 50. Because 50 is my bigger point, my upper point. And now I have less turbulence in the beginning, but more turbulence here on the top. So because of the air resistance here, we can play with the orbit multiplier again. Let's set it 75 and less like traction. Again, we can go to our ramp. Maybe make it a little bit bigger here. It's looking pretty interesting. That's much interesting. Okay, it's looking good. We can make a playlist of the book. So go to frame 200 and play start. Just want to see how it's looking on the proper frame range. I mean, proper FPS. So where's my flipbook? Oh, here we are. Now my points is good, but even with these setups, I guess I should add some additional noise for my particles. It's still a bit smooth. So this type of the vortex is good for a default vortex without a big turbulence. So let's use this and try to create something like this. Okay, that's fine. I guess I will leave this as it is. So this 25,000 is pretty good. I think that I will use this amount. And the life expectancy I will save the same because I don't care about life. They will die if they go to the upper area here. And that's what I have, the top network with my particles. Let's call this vortex particles. Let's add a null object. Set particles out. Oh, out. All right, we have now the particle simulation. So what the next thing I want to do here is I should pre-cache those particles and use those for creating the pyrosim. So let's go here and let's show the color a bit. Let's just make it over there. So, well, the first thing I want to add here is some attribute delete, because if you go to information, you can see that we have the detail attributes, which definitely I don't want to use. And I don't want to use the A resist, the dead, his previews, P previews, and all this stuff. So we have a 12 point attributes and 2 detail attributes, which I won't use, I guess. And the same stuff, we have a point group, which is don't need to have two. So attribute delete, and let's remove all guys from all classes, but I definitely should have a velocity, I guess. So we can leave a velocity. So the start is mean that I will remove all attributes from the points, from vertices, primitive, and details. And if you look on information now, we can see that I can have, well, position can't be removed by the attribute delete. So it will still here, because if we don't have a position, we can't find the particles. And now with this sign, we can say that I'm gonna leave the velocity. I remove all, but I will leave velocity. So now you can see that from 12 point attributes, I will leave position and a velocity. So from some proposals, I can leave a color attribute, like a city, and the age. And why age will be helpful for us, because from my age, I can say that, okay, for those particles which was just generated on this frame or on the last frame, I want to set like a density lower. And for those particles with a bigger age, I can set density bigger, so on and so forth. So age is pretty powerful attribute here. We can link to this powerful many different parameters. So I prefer to leave this age. here, and velocity is definitely that what we need, because if I will create the smoke simulation, I will use those velocities. Okay, so we can keep them too. All other stuff I will remove, and the group is I will delete the group too. All group, I can just have one group, but anyway, if you look here on our vortex particles, remove, let's uncheck this, go to information, we have 14 megabytes. And if I go here after the group delete, I have just 8 gigabytes of 8 megabytes. So we clean a little bit and then go to file cache. I want to save my particles. And I don't want to create the burst of my vortex. So I want to already have some particles. So I have the 500 frames duration, and I want to save 500 frames for my particles, but then I will make a time shift just to begin from frame, I don't know, 150, something like that. So basically we can keep like 400, even like 400, okay, let's say 400 frames. Remove the hip name from there, and let's call this stuff, I know, the vortex particles. So I'm gonna use this name for the file name cache, and I'm gonna save my 400 particles to, yeah, looking interesting. In fact, we can use the 500, it doesn't matter. It will not use too many disk space because it's just many particles we have. Here we have something like 174,000 particles. It's not too much. Okay, H, CD, point, velocity. Cool. So now we're going to save those particles and we keep going.